Hey everyone, I'm a Raging Papist. Thanks for joining me. Today's video is on what the alt-right is. A long time ago, actually on August 24th, 2016, so about a year ago, Vox Day, sort of the leader of the alt-west, or a thought leader, I would say, not the leader. There is no actual leader, but a prominent thought leader in the alt-west penned what the alt-right is. So I thought I would go ahead and share that with you, because I know there's a lot of people that don't understand what the alt-right is. They think the alt-right is just one thing. It's either white nationalism, it's either ethno-state advocacy. What is it? It's something, is it just white interests? What is the alt-right? These are not hard, fast rules. This is not a direct codification of rules or laws for the alt-right, but it's essentially designed to convey all the ideas of the alt-right in a normie, person-friendly way. So, number one, the alt-right is of the political right in both the American and European sense of the term. Socialists are not alt-right. Progressives are not alt-right. Liberals are not alt-right. Communists, Marxists, Marxians, cultural Marxists, and neocons are not alt-right. The alt-right, number two, the alt-right is an alternative to the mainstream conservative movement in the United States that is nominally encapsulated by Russel Kirk's 10 conservative principles, but in reality has devolved towards progressivism. It is also an alternative to libertarianism. Number three, the alt-right is not a defensive attitude and rejects the concept of noble and principled defeat. It is a forward-thinking philosophy of offense in every sense of the term. The alt-right believes in victory through persistence and remaining in harmony with science, reality, cultural tradition, and the lessons of history. The alt-right believes Western civilization is the pinnacle of human achievement and supports its three foundational pillars: Christianity, the European nations, and the Greco-Roman legacy. Number five, the alt-right is openly and avowedly nationalist. It supports all nationalisms and the right of all nations to exist, homogeneous and unadulterated by foreign invasion and immigration. Number six, the alt-right is anti-globalist. It opposes all groups who work for globalist ideals or globalist objectives. Number seven, the alt-right is anti-equalitarian. It rejects the idea of equality for the same reason it rejects the ideas of unicorns and leprechauns, noting that human equality does not exist in any observable scientific, legal, material, intellectual, sexual, or spiritual form. The alt-right is scientiodific. It presumptively accepts the current conclusions of the scientific method, scientity, while understanding A, these conclusions are liable to future revision, B, that scientistry is susceptible to corruption, and C, that the so-called scientific consensus is not based on scientity, but democracy, and is therefore intrinsically unscientific. Number nine, the alt-right believes identity is greater than culture, which is greater than politics. Number 10, the alt-right is opposed to the rule or domination of any native ethnic group by another, particularly in the sovereign homelands of the dominated peoples. The alt-right is opposed to any non-native ethnic group obtaining excessive influence in any society through nepotism, tribalism, or any other means. Number 11, the alt-right understands that diversity plus proximity equals war. Number 12, the alt-right doesn't care what you think about it. Number 13, the alt-right rejects international free trade and the free movement of peoples that free trade requires. The benefits of international free trade is not evidence for the benefits of international free trade. Number 14, the alt-right believes we must secure the existence of white people and a future for white children. Number 15, the alt-right does not believe in the general supremacy of any race, nation, people, or subspecies. Every race, nation, people, and human subspecies has its own unique strengths and weaknesses and possesses the sovereign right to dwell unmolested in their native culture it prefers. Number 16, the alt-right is a philosophy that values peace among the various nations of the world and opposes wars to impose the values of one nation upon another, as well as efforts to exterminate individual nations through war, genocide, immigration, or genetic assimilation. Those are the 16 points of the alt-right, penned by Vox Day. I suppose before I conclude the video, I'll try to keep it very, very short so that it's only a collection of the 16 points, so you can make of that what you will. I agree with the vast majority of the 16 points, personally. And the alt-right is divided between two thought groups. You have the alt-white, and you have the alt-west. I am firmly in the camp of the alt-west. What determines that is where you stand and what your interest or focus is. For instance, people in the alt-white category, which most of us in the alt-right are familiar with, they speak a lot about white nationalism. You have types like Richard Spencer. They also advocate for ethno-states, things of that nature. I would place someone like Millennial Woes probably in the alt-white camp. And my problem is not that I disagree so much with the alt-white, because again, the alt-white and the alt-west come together to form the alt-right. You need to have both, right? Like for instance, the alt-west is very intellectual. At least it aims to be a bit more intellectual and a bit more along the lines of, well, what is a nation? What is a people? What is a tribe? What are these things? How has Western civilization become great? Not at the genetic level, not at the racial level. That's what the alt-white does. But at the cultural level, that's more what the alt-west is concerned about. However, the reason the alt-white and the alt-west need each other is that you can't have a Western civilization without whites. That's just a matter of fact. Our civilization was produced by whites and technically for whites. That's why things like white nationalism and ethno-nationalism are in harmony with the alt-west, because that is European civilization. That is Western civilization. That is our faith. Our Christian faith is part of that. That's also one of the more contentious issues that the alt-white has. The alt-white doesn't really concern itself too much with religion. People such as they claim to be pagan. They claim to be, the alt-white makes allowances for people that are non-Christian, as long as they are race realist or race conscious, right? Again, that's their focus. The alt-white's focus is race. The alt-west focus is Western civilization and all the things that it entails. So I just thought I'd share this video real quick here to put up and let you mull over them, let them be documented. Go check out Vox Day's blog. He really sort of has guided me through the alt-right over the course of, I discovered him about a year or so ago on Stefan Molyneux's channel. And ever since then, it was fantastic because he started to address my grievances with the alt-white crowd. And how I've sort of separated myself from the alt-white crowd. Because again, I chalk it up to, it's not my focus. That's not my area of expertise. I see those things as necessary, but I see a great deal as also necessary from the alt-west. Where would you place somebody like Milo Yiannopoulos? Milo Yiannopoulos is not alt-right. And I think if Milo were to read the 16 points, I don't think he would agree with over half of it. He's sort of the, he's the cultural libertarian. He's the a bit too democracy loving, a bit too normie friendly, frankly. However, he is vital to moving the Overton window towards the right and making people question the narrative. The narrative being leftism, the narrative being progressivism, all the things you suck down in your youth, which we continue to indoctrinate our children with in the West, that is the narrative. I would classify him as someone alt-light. That's someone that's not alt-right, although I tend to to think that they are. It depends on what your definition then is. Is it the 16 points, or is it an all-encompassing anything that's not mainstream conservatism is alternative right? And I guess for myself, the principal philosophy is the 16 points. That is the alt-right. I would say if you agree with the majority of it, you're probably alt-right. And then you can determine whether you are more focused on the alt-west or on the alt-white. For you to decide. But I tend to call people that are alt-right just part of the alt-right as an effort to bring them along, to say like they're on, these people are on the path. These are good people, but they're not, I guess they're not woke yet. Many of them have taken the red pill. They're getting there because they see the dangers of the left, and they're being woken up to it, but they haven't come to these conclusions yet. They haven't come to the conclusions on the necessity of their racial preservation. So we'll see what happens in the future. Anyway, those are the 16 points. Thanks for stopping by. Leave a comment on what you think about it. Check out Vox Day's blog, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.